Day 21. COVID-19 lockdown South Africa. Thursday, the 16th of April, 2020. I recall the day we were told about lockdown and how Thursday, the 16th of April, had this sort of rainbow attached to it. But things don't always work out the way you expect them to work out. And we have had our lockdown extended. So we have another 14 days to go. And along with this, we're having to deal with a lot of stress. Now, stress plagues every one of us. There's no getting away with it, and we try to cope with it. And we do this for the sake of both our mental and physical health. Because if you don't, one or the other is going to take a beating. So today I'd like to go through issues that are causing stress. It's the last of my videos because with effect from tomorrow, I go into meditation. I will be doing meditation practices every day for the next 14 days to take you through this period, and hopefully our quarantine will end in the next 14 days and we'll be ready to go back to work. I received an email from a colleague of mine, an ex-colleague, and I was trying to schedule a meeting with her. And she surprised me. She said that the pressure is so much greater now that she's working from home than when she was actually on the premises. She mentioned things like being monitored online, etc. Now, we can expect that because companies need to do that. But can you imagine how different the home situation is to the work situation? It's definitely going to affect productivity. And in affecting that productivity, it's going to cause a problem between employer and employee. And also because you are at home, your family routine is disrupted. And very often, spouses and children who are not working from home find it very, very difficult to adapt to this new thing of, well, my spouse used to go out to work. And when my spouse came home, it was our time. Now he or she happens to be home, but stuck on that laptop or that desktop or whatever device you have, and you're linking with clients, you're trying to sort things out. So this puts a different kind of a stress, something you've never ever had before, because nobody has been working under these conditions before. Even if you worked at home, you could take a drive to the mall, you could go to the supermarket, you could go to the movies. But now it's the prison of your four walls. So what do? You're expected to do your chores at home. Now you're trying to balance your chores as a family person and your duty, which is your bread and butter issue, as a business person, a worker, whatever it is. It's not easy. Really, really not easy. You have financial constraints. Not everybody has money to buy the internet service. Not everybody has the speed of the internet. Probably the phone bills are not paid on time and you cannot make your phone calls. So there's a whole lot of other things. And added to this burden, you don't know if you're going to get paid at the end of the month. So it becomes this vicious cycle where you are sacrificing yourself more than anything else. You're sacrificing yourself in order to keep your job or to keep your business, to keep your cash flow going in your business. And at the same time, you're sacrificing your personal relationship. Your children need help with schoolwork. You were not there from 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 before lockdown. So when you got in, there was a different routine. Now it's your responsibility to make sure that third, fourth, and fifth people are following their routine. So there's much more that falls on you now, much more than you'd ever consider happening. I picked up this book this morning, a TED talker, Pico Iyer. Pico Iyer writes beautifully, and I really like reading this. Another one of my airport top reads. And Pico Iyer talks about the art of stillness. Now, without stillness, you could head for a nervous breakdown. And according to an article dated 14th of June 2018 on an online magazine by Integrative Health Issues, they clearly state, stillness halts your body's stress response and resets your adrenal glands. Now we know when your adrenaline is pumping, you get all hyper, you get all stressed, and you can't work. Stillness is one way to do that. How do you get the stillness? How do you say to your family, I need stillness? They probably look at you and say, there's something drastically wrong with you. But it's like setting your clock, resetting your clock. And if you don't take the time to do this, you're not going to be able to function properly. So you definitely need that time for yourself. I'm going to read a bit from this book where he quotes Marcus Aurelius. And he says, Marcus Aurelius reminded us more than 2 millennia ago, it's not our experiences that form us, but the ways in which we respond to them. A hurricane sweeps through town, reducing everything to rubble. One man sees it as a liberation and a chance to start anew, while another, perhaps even his brother, is traumatized. In the stillness of yours, you do not have to discuss how you're feeling with anybody, and that's the beauty of stillness. It's you and you alone. And as he says, one person can see it as liberating. A hurricane can be the most liberating thing because it damages so much. And the other person can see it as totally traumatic. With regard to COVID-19, I've actually heard somebody who's rather old, chronologically, say that this might be the easiest way to die. And I listened, and I had to listen again, because am I really hearing this? Is this how people are feeling? And the person turned around and said to me, look at the quality of my life. I would be better off dead. And if COVID-19 gets me, then God's doing me a favor. So all I could do was encourage that person to just think positively and go into the stillness of themselves and try to think of the bright things. So stillness is vitally important. I urge you to practice that, to go into yourself. It is the most private space. And when you are still, one of the most important things with stillness, and I find this works very well because optical stimuli can actually cause your brain to go into overdrive. So does auditory. So whatever auditory stimuli you have when you're going into stillness, in the beginning to go into stillness, you would like to do it with soft music. If you're somebody who appreciates that kind of thing, I would suggest that you lower your lids. And as you know, when I say lower your lids, I mean close your eyes. If you can't do it at any other time, before you fall off to sleep at night, have that moment of stillness. Let your body's clock reset itself. Rejuvenate those adrenal glands for your own sake. The other way of doing it is when you get up in the morning, silently, while you're still in bed actually, that moment of stillness before you get out and embark on the day's duty. It really helps, trust me, it does. I'd like to end today, and before I end today's session, I'd like to thank you for being part of this 21 videos for 21 days. It's been my pleasure to share my books with you, to share my thoughts with you, and to share all the different subjects that I love reading about. I hope in some way it's given you something to look forward to during this period, and I hope it has given you some strength. I look forward to the next 14 days when we're going to be doing snippets of meditation, and I'm quite sure that we will get through COVID-19. We will. Together, we can. In the words of the wisest psychologist that America ever produced, and that's William James, he reminded us, the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. It is the perspective we choose, not the places we visit, and it ultimately tells us where we stand. I wish you well, and until we meet again, thank you for your support. Thank you for your company. Thank you for taking me into your homes. And until we meet again, may God forever hold you in the palm of his hand.